Dudes and dudettes of YouTube land, it's Frank with What's the Point EDC. Today's video, it's a little different. So let's just go ahead and get right into it, you guys. Look at this. Bam, my first ever hanky, okay? Not only is it my first ever hanky, hold on now. Bam, y'all. Look at that. My first hanky and my first Demko knife. This is awesome. Shout out to Rocky. Chef Rocky is an awesome dude. He's a good brother of the blade. We do lives with him and Doom all the time. He's a very solid dude. I'm gonna put a link to his Instagram in the description. Check him out and hit him up. Okay, so I just want to start this one off by saying this is my first Demko knife on the channel. My first one that I've ever owned and my first one on the channel. Now, I have had Andrew Demko designs before, but I've never had an actual Demko knives knife. This thing is awesome. This is the 20.5, but this isn't just any 20.5. This is the one that came from Rocky, but this one actually has a very cool backstory. So let me go ahead and tell you about this backstory real quick before we go in any farther. This is an interesting story. Stick around to the end. So Rocky gets a tattoo of a Demko. If I do remember, I'll have a picture on screen of it. He goes and gets a tattoo of a Demko. It's in memory of a friend of his. Goes to Blade Show. The Demko guys see it. They take pictures of him, all this stuff. They send him a custom one-off Demko. It had Damascus scales, 3V blade, all that good stuff. It was so fire. Well, let's go ahead and fast forward to today. This knife right here has the blade that came off of that Demko that Andrew gave Rocky. This is that 3V clip point blade. Now, he had this knife and he blade swapped that blade onto the knife because he liked that blade more. So this has actually got a little bit of history in its own way. I'll say that it has its own history. Yeah. This is really cool. Now, when I got this knife, it didn't have good action. That's one of the reasons why Rocky gave it to me. He gave it to me because he knew I had never had a Demko. At the time, I hadn't ever used or owned 3V steel, and this is 3V right here. Good stuff. And it had some issues with the action. So I had to take it apart. I had to get my Dremel tool out. Had to change things. So right in here, this is actually, I'm going to call this the lock bar. So it has a curvature. So I just literally changed the slight curvature of it to where the action now is as it should be from the factory. Very good, very smooth, no lock stick. The lock stick was so bad that you had to take 2 fingers to actually get the knife to deploy, or to get the lock to disengage is what I should have said. But it's very good. This is a very cool knife. It was actually an easier fix than I expected. I expected it to be a little bit more troublesome, but it wasn't. It was very good. So he knew I would fix it, and he knew I'd love doing things like that. I really enjoy getting hands-on with knives. Yeah, that's just what I love. So let's talk about this hanky right here. We got the Issuing Stitches hanky. This is like some type of nebula, if I'm not mistaken. This is freaking fire. I've never had one before. This is really cool. Man, I really like how I can pair these together. You know, now I have a hanky to pair with my EDC gear and stuff. You know what? While I'm talking about comparing, let's do a quick knife comparison. Why don't we? Let's start this one off with a Kaiser Militol and a bam. How about another Kaiser? How about a Kaiser Brain Fart? How about that? The Kaiser Megatherium, the Elijah Isham design. I feel like an idiot. What's wrong with me? So as you can see, it's definitely a smaller knife. It's probably still in the full size category. Let's see real quick. Nope, not quite 8 inches yet. Just shy, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and put 2 more on screen real quick. We did 2 Kaiser. Let's do 2 Spydercos. How about the Spyderco Manix 2 Lightweight Salt Series in Magna Cut, and the Spyderco PM2 and Crewwear and Micarta, the Crew Carta version. Good stuff. I really have liked the Demko 20.5s. Now, I've held Demko's in my hand, the 20.5s, but I've never held the G10 version. The only ones that I had held were the, I believe, I want to say AUS 10 and D2 versions, and they were both with the FRN. This is definitely G10. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and do something real quick. Check this out. We got little brother right here. Bow. And we got big brother right here. Look at the similarities. This isn't a clip point, I know. But you can see that right here. Look at the texture. Look at the texture. Very similar texturing. Very similar coloring. Very similar texturing. Very aggressive. Now, here's something I'll say. It's if you don't like aggressive pattern knives, this is not going to be for you. But if you don't mind taking the clip, you take the clip off, you mark where it needs to be, and you sand that part down just a little tiny bit to give it a flat landing. So that way when your material goes in between the two, it's not grinding like a freaking grinder. But yeah, you get extreme traction with this thing. I love the sound. Listen to this thing. Just give me a second. Listen. It's crazy. That thing sounds so fire. It's skinnier than I remember, so it carries so good. And I like the blade hole, the deployment hole, but here's the thing, is you don't even need it. It does look good, and I do prefer it to be there, but these thumb studs are money. Look at this. Look, watch. Money. Let's do that again. Look. That's money. Bow. That was a goofy opening. I don't even know why I did it like that. Let's do that. Bam. Look. Power behind that. Fire freaking knife. Got the lanyard hole. So if you want to slap you a doodad on that thing, you can do that right here. Such a fire freaking knife. I'm digging it. I'm going to have fun with this thing. Shout out to Rocky for even making this one right here possible. It's awesome that I got a knife with a bunch of history that from a good dude. My first hanky. My first Demko knife. Good stuff. I appreciate this, Rocky. Check the link in the description. It'll be his Instagram link. Hit him up. Follow him. Come on the lives we do every Tuesday and every Thursday from 9 a.m. until about 12, depending. Yeah, man, I appreciate everybody out there. You guys are freaking awesome. Like I say in every video, you guys are what makes the channel what the channel is, and I appreciate you guys for that. Fist bump to you for real. With that being said, if you're an addict, never quit quitting. Stay strong and live long. If you're struggling with bad thoughts, reach out and talk to somebody. It is okay to talk. Never quit quitting and never give up. Take it easy and stay crazy. Demko freaking AD 20.5. Peace.